Lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. WholesaleSupply.us.
Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland, exit 20 of I-75 and cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty. Also a great pre-owned inventory and an excellent service department as well. Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland, family owned and operated. Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland, cleveland-nissan.com, exit 20 of I-75.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. I hope everyone out there is having a good day. Beautiful weather out there. I'll tell you what, the weather can't be any better than what it's been the last week and a half or so. But another beautiful day out there. We're excited to be here. It's just Jacob and myself today. So Andy's not here. Now, it's my understanding that Andy's getting some type of a piercing or something.
I think so.
Yeah, I believe that's what I hear.
Yeah, he's been really secretive of the location, but as much as he's been talking about one area of the body, I think that's where he's going for.
So anyway, we're going to talk a lot of stuff. I'm sure Andy's just thrilled about that. But we got a lot of stuff on the agenda today. By the way, we appreciate Hardees sponsoring The Drive. They do that each and every day. We do appreciate all of our sponsors here on ESPN. We do want to remind everyone that we have a really cool thing going on. I know this is not sports related, but it is important. How old were you during the 9/11 attack?
Third grade.
Third grade.
Yep.
But you sort of remember it, though.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rolling in the TVs into the hallways. Yeah. My mom came and checked me out of school. She was watching the news, so I remember it vividly.
That was my daughter's first day of preschool. I'll never forget that. And the reason we're bringing it up, of course, today is the 9th, and in 2 days we'll be remembering 9/11. But we have a special thing going on the volunteer Ritipes text line, which is 423-749-1013. We want you to nominate your favorite first responder here in Cleveland and Bradley County. And that's presented by the way, the Chattanooga Monument Company. The winner's going to be announced on 9/11. So text responder on this. So hopefully the person that you nominate, and obviously this is just a random thing. It's just your favorite. But there's a lot of great people out there that are first responders. I take my hat off. I don't think I have what it takes to be a first responder. So I do appreciate all of the men and women out there that are on the front lines, if you will. So that is one thing. We wanted to get that out there early enough. And we do have two guests today. We're going to be talking to the Falcons in Georgia radio host, Bo Morgan. We're going to be talking to him around 5:15, 5:20, and then, of course, Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins around 5:40. But before we do that, yesterday we had so much football. We didn't get into this.
Yeah, she's not getting off the hook.
She's not getting off, and we're talking about the Philly Karen. That's the only way I know how to describe her. If I say Philadelphia Phillies and Karen, we all know what we're talking about. That was one of the darndest things I've ever seen. I got to get your opinion on the whole, and I'm assuming everyone out there knows what we're talking about, but if you don't, describe exactly what happened. This was last Friday night at the ballpark down there in Miami. The Phillies were on the road in Miami playing the Marlins, and there was a home run hit. take it from there.
Yeah, if you haven't heard this, like, not being ugly, but you've been under a rock.
Absolutely been under a rock.
It's been across every news station, but we're going to paint you a picture. So, home run gets hit into the outfield, as where it should go. Ball lands into an empty seat. Multiple groups of people start rushing around.
And it's shocking there's empty seats in Miami, right?
Yeah, very shocking. But lots of people start trying to get this baseball. Dad, super successful, great dad, taking his son to watch his son's favorite team play for his birthday, rushes over, gets the ball off the ground.
The ball lands in his row, by the way.
Yes. Comes back, holding the ball out, showing his son, hey, I got this for you. Happy birthday, buddy. I got it for you. We're here for you. Puts it in his glove. Then turns around and wraps him up in probably one of the most endearing hugs that I've seen on television. Then comes Philly Karen, who has hopped down a row, stormed and marched her way over there. And so the dad explains in her interview, he thought the person grabbing them was somebody behind him who they've been talking to, kind of congratulating him, just like anybody would shake him. But then she screams in his ear, and that's where you get the reaction. Everybody's kind of giving the dad a little bit of a hard time because he kind of, if you put both of your hands in a fist and put them up towards your armpits,
it doesn't look very masculine.
No,
we'll just leave it there.
He kind of shakes a little bit, but like he was jarred because this woman starts screaming at him saying, "You took the ball from me. You took that as my baseball." Well, first off, like, it's free game there.
It's first come, first serve. The first person that grabs it and has it securely in their hand, that's who gets it.
And people had, like, this went so viral that people did breakdowns of the video that there is no way possible that Philly Karen had control of that baseball. So check. Dad's clear there. Yep. She didn't have control of it. Was free. But she grabs him by the arm and continuously screams at him. And me and you talked about this yesterday. Ain't no shot in the world she's getting that baseball from me.
Nope, not for me, she's not.
It worked out for the dad, though.
Oh, big time.
In the long run, it worked out for the dad and the little boy, but there's no shot on the face of this earth. I look at her and tell her she can go kick rocks. She can go sit back in her seat, and if she wants to continue to yell at me, she can yell at me, but if she directs anything towards my kids, we're going to have a problem. Mm-hmm. That would have been my interaction with her. But she gets the baseball. This story continues. So
it starts blowing up Friday night.
Yes. And so people from all over the stadium are starting to view this woman because it was a spectacle. Even the commentators started commentating in the game. So she starts.
By the way, both fans are Philly fans. Yeah. It's not like one's a Marlin fan, one's a Philly fan. There's this Philly fan versus Philly fan.
Yes. So she starts getting booed so much, and then a guy in a Philadelphia Eagles jersey says something to her, so she makes her way down 3 or 4 rows to go get in his face. Then people are heckling her from the balcony, and that's when the American Sign Language starts coming out.
Yeah, you're number one.
And she starts spinning around in circles, letting everybody know about it. From what I was told, she was heckled so badly that she had to leave the stadium. Then the Marlins sent somebody on staff to talk to little boy and gave him kind of like a swag bag with a bunch of gifts in it and said how that lady acted was not very nice. And that's not what we want you to remember of today's experience. And then they gave him tickets to the rest of the series. On top of that, they got in touch with somebody for the Phillies. He got to meet the guy that hit the home run, got a signed bat by him, got a signed baseball. Oh, and it just so happens the story went so viral that the guy who owns outdoor camping is sending him and his family to the World Series and gifted the dad an RV because he's such a great dad. Like, imagine being that woman on Monday morning. Like, I mean, or even Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, yeah.
Like, imagine waking up and that's your life. Again, folks, this is a great reminder. In today's day and age, everything is recorded.
I mean, how many times today have you been on camera? Tons. Your whole day's on camera.
Yeah.
Every time you walk out the door, you're on camera. There's closed circuit television cameras all over the place. You can't go anywhere from point A to point B within a city and not be on multiple cameras. The only time you're not on camera is if you're deep in the woods somewhere, and even then there's a chance there could be a camera mounted on a tree.
Well, everybody's got them in their hands too. And folks, when you're in public, you're in public.
Yep.
You are able to be filmed. Like that whole argument of like, oh, when you're in public, like, you don't have my consent.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Mm-hmm. If you are in public, you are able to be filmed. This is a great reminder that how you act, especially in today's day and age, can be captured, can be recorded, can be sent to your work,
and be held against you.
I've heard that all these stories have generated. I don't know how true this one is. I heard that she was a teacher, and she was fired. So
she gave the middle finger, and that's a fireable offense.
Right. And me and you talked about it. Treating a kid like that in public, I think is close to it. I mean, I think if Dr. Cash saw me acting like that at a game, I would be in her office regardless of the middle finger or not. If I was in the face of a dad screaming at a little boy trying to steal his ball, how does that make me look?
Yeah.
Like that's this is one of those ones. And then this is in a week where a CEO takes a hat from little kid at a tennis tournament.
Oh yeah, saw that one too.
Like, people, what are we doing?
I mean, we had that incident that happened at that concert where that CEO was having a little fling with one of his coworkers, and hello, you're caught on camera in a public setting. You're risking yourself. You don't do stuff out in public. If you don't want to be caught, don't do it in public.
Not yet, for real. This is not the 1980s. This is not. We are in a world where technology is everywhere, and if you're doing something, you're going to get caught. It's going to happen. So, dot your I's. Cross your T's.
Yep.
Make sure you're doing what you're supposed to, because Philly Karen's life looks a whole lot different from Friday afternoon than it did to Saturday morning.
Yeah. That being said, now I'll say this, and I'm not defending her, but I hope at some point that she can go back to living a normal life. This should be held against her forever, but there are consequences, and people. The average person disliked what she did. I'll bet you 99.999% of the people were against her. There may be that slight 0.001% that might have said, yeah, I see her point, but I'm sorry. If the masses are against you, you're going to get the wrath of the people out there. That's just the reality.
If Philly fans can find a problem with what you've done something egregious.
That's true.
Philly fans booed Santa.
Yeah, this was 1969. I think it was 1969 when the Eagles were having just a horrendous season, and things weren't going well in whatever game they were playing. It was the end of the season, and I think it was around Christmas time, maybe a week or so before Christmas, and they brought Santa Claus out on the field, and they were playing at Franklin Field back then. And they booed Santa Claus, and of course it's stuck with the Philly fans from then on. Hey, it's so bad in Philadelphia, they booed Santa Claus.
Hey, real question: if it was a Marlins fan, do the Phillies fans give her such a hard time? If the kid and the dad were Marlins fans, do the Philly fans rally behind them, or do they say she deserved that ball?
You know what? I think they're going to say, take the colors off. It's a woman trying to steal a ball from a kid.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really think that even other Philly fans would defend the Marlins fan if that was a Marlins. I'm not going to say it as harshly as they are now, but I still think they would still be on the side of the dad and the kid.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you too. I think at the end of the day, like, baseball is a kid's game, and like we get to enjoy it as adults. But like, to me, like I'm so excited that I'm in that stage of dadhood that, like, I took Graham to a Braves game. He was a little young. We had a good time, but we're starting to enter that phase where, like, Saturday morning game one for the Georgia Bulldogs, my son was up at 7:30 screaming "Go Dogs" throughout the house with
I love it.
The Georgia fight song playing. So we're starting to get into that era, but. Like, it's a kid's game, and to me, like, I'm with you. I hope that people lay off of her, but I'll be honest, dude. Give her a lifetime ban from an MLB stadium. That's a line you do not get in. You're setting a precedence there. You cannot get in the face of a kid arguing over a baseball. When in all reality, even if she got that ball, she should have found the nearest little kid there and said, "Hey, you wanted that? Here you go, buddy."
Yeah, right. By the way, speaking of lifetime ban, did you see the fans who touched the helmets of Lamar Jackson and another player for the Ravens? He was given a lifetime ban from all NFL stadiums.
Was it like an aggressive slap?
On Sunday. Yeah, he didn't slap it. He got it, and he just kind of he put his hands on the helmet.
Yeah, you're gone.
And Lamar Jackson pushed him back. Lamar Jackson pushed him so hard the guy fell backwards.
Yeah, you're gone.
And now he's been given a ban from all NFL stadiums, all 30 NFL stadiums. By the way, there's 32 NFL teams, 30 NFL stadiums. Jets and Giants share, Chargers and Rams share as well. But you're banned from all NFL stadiums. You can't touch. You can yell, you can scream, you can almost yell, you can almost say anything. I guess there are certain words you shouldn't say, but man, if you touch,
yeah, you're gone.
You're gone, man.
You're gone. I'm with you on that. And really, I think throwing extends that too. Like if you're close enough that you have good enough aim to hit something. If a fan gets mad, like it's kind of hard. Like you think about like the Braves game where all the trash starts going on the field. You think about the Texas game where all the trash. It's hard to ban all those people. But if they're walking through the tunnel and you take a water bottle and you throw it and you strike them, bye.
And the camera zooms in on you and
Yeah.
they can. And it's amazing. People they'll figure out who you are.
Yeah, gone. See ya.
Yeah. All right. One more thing before we go to break. Did you see the AP poll that came out this past week?
Yeah.
Did you see the female voter and her explanation as to why she voted the way she did? Have you seen that video clip?
I haven't seen the video clip. No.
Okay, so here it is, and I'm not. Has nothing to do with the fact that she's female, but it's easier to say because I think she's the only female voter. She moves Florida up 2 spots. Moves them. By the way, Florida lost this past weekend. Lost to South Florida.
If you missed it, we talked about it at extent to start the show off yesterday.
So on her AP poll, poll that she submitted, she moved the Gators up 2 spots. Did not rank USF, South Florida. And I understand the AP is not part of the college football playoff rankings. We get that. But if you're not going to take it any more serious than that, you should not have a vote. There's certain people that vote should be stripped from her because she obviously did not know.
Yeah, well, that or like she meant to like put USF there and like move them up 2 spots from where Florida was. Maybe.
But they actually have a video of her and she's trying to justify everything. And then at the end of the day, she goes, "Oh, it's not that serious." I'm sitting there going,
to a lot of people, it is.
But you know, I love the Post, and yeah, I know they don't have a thing to do with the playoff selection, but I take them seriously. They're there for a reason. They're there. You should take it seriously.
Well, I think we can say this, which makes it even cleaner. Anybody that would do that and try to justify it after what I watched on Saturday and the game plan that I watched and the execution that I watched, Florida ran the ball 6 times on their first drive and they went down to score. You know how many times they ran with that same running back after? 6 more.
That's
12 touches. Then they started running jet screens. Then they started running like all these like little. They even got in their bag so much that they started running trick plays.
Yeah,
and so if you are the University of Florida. If you are getting bullied,
in the swamp.
Yes, in the swamp. If you are getting bullied by a lesser of these university, that's where I'm getting rabbit trailed. Anybody that makes that decision that says, hey, we're going to bump them up 2 spots and not put the other team in there, that's wild. That's reckless behavior. You're crashing out on the drive. I'm telling you, you can't do it. And there should be some kind of repercussion for it because, like you said, I take it seriously. It helps me evaluate where Georgia is in the landscape, where Tennessee is in the landscape, how the common public views them. I personally pay more attention to the coaches poll because I think coaches have a better understanding of what teams are doing. Like you look at, I know I talk about Georgia on here. Andy's not here to defend Tennessee fans. Georgia jumped from 3 to 6 or from 4 to 6, and
they dropped. They
dropped. In the coaches poll, they're still 3. To me, that says the coaches are not too concerned with what happened against Austin Peay last week.
Right, and I'll say this. You watch more. I'm going to tell you something. Most of these voters in the Associated Press poll are beat writers. I'll promise you, you and I watch way more football than every beat writer out there. Why? Because we're sitting in front of the tube. We're watching multiple games at the same time. They're at one stadium watching one game. They're there 2 hours before game. They're there an hour and a half after the game. So they're focused on one game for about a 6-hour window. where you and I are sitting there watching multiple games, I feel like that I'm more qualified to rank teams than most beat writers. I just do. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think about it. I watched 8 games in the 12 o'clock cycle. I watched 6 games during the 3 o'clock cycle. And then I watched like 4 games during the 6:30, 7 o'clock cycle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bo Morgan, the executive producer of pregame and postgame Atlanta Falcons football. Hey, we'll talk a little Georgia Bulldog football with him too. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
This is Alfonso Revizo, General Manager over at Crown in Cleveland, your local Jeep and Ram dealership.
You bleed orange. You never miss a Vols game. But when's the last time you showed that same pride in your smile? At Magnolia Dental Center of Cleveland, we treat every patient like it's 4th and goal. Fast, tough, and no-nonsense care. Just like the way Tennessee plays. Cleanings, repairs, full-on restorations. We'll get you back in the game. Magnolia Dental Center, proudly serving Vol Nation, one winning smile at a time. Call 423-476-3307 or visit magnoliadentalcenterofcleveland.com to schedule an appointment today.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. Northley Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one: medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And we're very pleased to be joined by Bo Morgan with the Atlanta Falcons Radio Network. And Bo, what a very heart-wrenching game to lose last Sunday. How's everything in your world, man?
I mean, everything's good with me. It was a tough loss, like you guys said. You know, it was. It's kind of funny because right after the game, I'm trying to get home and stopping and going in traffic, and I'm reading Twitter here and there, even though I'm not supposed to, and people are just freaking out. And I'm like, yeah. Well, first off, this is the exact game we won the Thursday night of last year in Atlanta, right? The overtime game.
Right.
We just make the field goal last year, and then we win it, and this year we don't. And it was very similar in a lot of ways. We just didn't go our way. But I'm telling people, they're like, well, we're behind the 8 ball in the division, and now it's an upward fight. And there's a little bit of truth to that. You're behind the team that's favored, but the reality is you beat them twice last year, and they still won the division. So there's no need for panic. There's no reason to freak out and all was lost. There was a lot of positives that are, you can take away from that game. Sure, there's some things that didn't go your way as much, but some things played into normal trends in this rivalry that is. And, there's also a couple of alarming things, like the way you ended up losing by missing a field goal that should have tied it, you think, and has become a strength. What used to be a strength has now become, I don't want to say a weakness, but definitely an unknown for this team moving forward.
Yeah, Michael Penix, you talked about some positives. He went 27 for 49, 289, and one touchdown. Just talk about his play on Sunday.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I thought he missed some throws early in the game. Had a couple of overthrows and some balls over 20 yards, and I really didn't like the fact that we couldn't get more in the vertical passing game over 20 yards. But you look at the third play of the game, he comes out and that's set up for a shot. And he goes through two of his progressions. It's not there. He knows he has Bijan, and Bijan even told us after the game, look, he knows he's got me there. He gets it to him. And then Bijan did the thing that we've been looking for him to do, which was a big play over 40 yards, right? It's kind of been something that's been missed in the first couple of years. But,
he looked great.
Oh, yeah. And look, that's the other thing that and I don't want to get off on the Bijan tangent because they're very easy for me. I'm a big fan of him on and off the field, but he didn't do much in the run game, but he still had over 100, I think like 126 yards all-purpose, and 100 of that was receiving. Sure, 50 of it came on one chunk, but he also had, I think, another 5 receptions for 50 yards, so that was very good for him. But you go to the Penix question, and he managed the game. He didn't turn the ball over. Look, I thought, and I don't know if it's a question or not, but I'll touch on it and not go too far in case it is, but I think the offensive line played very well. Not in the run game or at times in the passing game, but Michael Penix found a way. He found a way on fourth down, fourth and like 2, I think, from the 4, or 4th and 3 from the 4, something like that, where he makes the play, rolls out. They have to review it, but he lays out, gets the first down, and then he turns around and does it again on 4th and goal. And he has Pitts kind of comes open late, but I'm not saying he didn't trust Pitts in that situation, but it's one of those things where I can get there. I know he did whatever it took. Even the management of the very last play offensively that you had, where I think it was the very last play with 11 seconds left, he throws the shot to Hodge. There's been some conversation in Atlanta. Did Kadarius Hodge quit on the route? It's absolutely the fault. It didn't quit on the route. He wasn't jammed at the line of scrimmage. Kadarius Hodge, he's going down there, and Jamil Dean makes contact with him. And you could have called it for illegal contact at the very least. It was really pass interference if you want to get down to it. But that's a kind of a call in that situation. Referee's gonna maybe hold the flag. It should have been called. But Penix did everything seemingly right, it felt like, especially down the stretch. And it just shows you that, once again, this guy has got it. I mean, these games that we lose with him are coming down to the very end. And a couple of them have been kicks that we missed.
Yep.
So, you just have to love what he's shown. He looks – I mean, go look at the game last night. Thought J.J. McCarthy did a great job, but, I mean, right now, in just a 4-game sample size with Michael Penix, he looks like he's more advanced than Caleb Williams at times.
I agree. Hey, I'm glad you brought up the missed kicks, because we saw where the 49ers, they cut Moody today. How safe is Younghoe Koo right now?
He's not at all. I know personally that they worked out a number of kickers today. It was from what I know of these kind of situations. Look, these teams, especially the Falcons, will plan to have a workouts of positions on Tuesdays. I'm pretty sure that a kicker position was already planned. to have a workout before this happened, but I'm not saying they didn't. They maybe add a couple of names, but they signed a guy named Parker Romo this afternoon to the practice squad. And he's a guy that he's played with New Orleans. He's played with Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota, and even New England on the practice squad. And he played with the Vikings last year. He was 11 of 12 on field goals last year with Minnesota, has a career long of 55 yards, and I think he's like 7 of 8 on extra points. So that is a situation where I would bet you guys, and based on the way Raheem talked yesterday in his presser, that they're going to let this play out this week at practice. You know, I even saw a guy that I work with that works here in Atlanta and is a buddy of mine, and he's in Atlanta meeting. He goes, well, I don't know why they just didn't go ahead and cut bait on Koo if there's any question. Well, you now have a guy on the practice squad that you can allow this to be a competition the entirety of the week, and I can bet that you might just standard elevate Parker Romo Sunday if he outperforms Youngway. And look, these guys have so many standard elevate. You have to be it's dicey now. The kicker goes out there and makes some kicks, and on a Sunday, because then if he reverts back to your practice squad, and anybody can just come sign him on their active roster. So it could kind of push your chips into the middle there on what you did. But if you liked what you saw, I'm not saying they would do this, but I'm saying I don't think it's off the table that they don't have a competition all week. They standard elevate him for Sunday, and then Youngway is possibly inactive on Sunday because that's something you can do. So there's a really good possibility that Youngway Koo doesn't kick Sunday for this team.
We're joined by Bo Morgan, executive producer and pregame host of the Falcons Radio. Bo, for our average listeners or our average fantasy fans, any update on Drake London?
The team hasn't given one yet. I think Raheem will possibly address it tomorrow and maybe get to maybe even let it play out to Friday. I wouldn't panic if he doesn't practice tomorrow or Thursday. I would have a little bit more of an eyebrow raise if he doesn't practice Friday. But even then, I personally tend to think he plays. I would say, in my own opinion, there's no knowledge from the team on this, but I would personally tend to think that not only Drake plays Sunday, but look out for number one to play as well, Darnell Mooney. I think they both play Sunday. Again, no one's told me that. That's just me understanding of some situations and knowing what they are and just kind of putting that out there in my own opinion. And again, it's my opinion. I could be wrong. And everybody could be like, hey, you told me he was going to play. He didn't play. I planned on that. I set my schedule or my roster Saturday night. Didn't want to worry about it Sunday. Well, I apologize if you do. But I think they're both going to play Sunday.
Well, that's good news, Bo. Hey, big Georgia fan here myself. We're going to switch gears a little bit on you. We got a big one in our neck of the woods. About an hour north of us in Knoxville, Georgia takes on the Tennessee Volunteers for College Game Day. What are your thoughts on the Dogs through the first 2 weeks?
Look, the Marshall team they played, I don't know what that really was with all the transfer portal players that they were taking in and just the way the overhaul of their roster. But then you look at last week against Austin Peay. That's a hard game to take away from with what happened with the weather delay, right? Those weather delays get kind of funky when they're too long, and it can kind of throw things off. But I don't think that Kirby is overly happy with with maybe how they're pushing the ball downfield and some of the things he's seen from Gunner. The running back room has still not been what you kind of expect it to be. I know they have some talented guys on the outside. I also think that Tennessee's looked pretty good the first couple of weeks, and it looks like they've been able to replace guys that they had that they lost. Like a guy down here in James Pierce Jr. So I'm a little bit interested in this game, and look, Gunnar Stockton played a whole half of an SEC championship game, not an easy game. He played in a Sugar Bowl which was a national, I guess that was a quarterfinal game in
Yes.
the playoffs. So he's played in some big environments, but this is going to be a very hostile environment, not the split kind of field. So what is he going to show? Is he going to show the things, and even Kirby's kind of, the way Kirby talks, he'll say kind of allude to one thing and say, well, I'm not really going to say that, but, we still got to do this. Can they take what they're doing in practice and translate it to the field against a very confident Tennessee team with Aguilar? But this is a hump for Josh Heupel. Is the guys, just an hour or so up the road from you guys know that, in Knoxville, this is a very kind of a big game. Can he get over it? Kind of like we saw, week one with LSU and Clemson. Can Brian Kelly finally win an opening day game in LSU? Can Josh Heupel get past Kirby? And so it's kind of a big thing. It's going to be an exciting game. It's a 3:30 kickoff. I know Knoxville's going to be amped up there. We're going to hear Rocky Top like 2 billion times. But Georgia is seemingly untested. And I like Tennessee just going through that opening day game that they went through in Atlanta more than anything that not that it was much of a game, so to speak, but it's still more of a testing thing Georgia's had. So it's really but overall it's kind of two untested teams that are trying to retool as you expect from Power 5 programs like FCC programs that go to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Hey, Bo, man, we appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, anytime. I always enjoy joining you guys. Look for some good games this weekend. I'm excited for all of them.
All right, man. You have a good rest of the day.
All right, y'all too. Thank you.
All right. Bo Morgan talking a little Falcons, talking a little bit of Georgia Bulldogs. Sounds to me like he's a little unsure about the Georgia Bulldogs. Listen, I still think that Kirby's been holding back. I think he's been running the most vanilla offense ever because I think he knew that all they really had to do was just show up and they were going to win those two games. He didn't want to give anything for Tennessee to prepare for.
Yeah, it's going
to be wrong. I may be wrong.
It's going to be such a good game. I really try to be non-biased, especially on a show like this. If there's a year that Tennessee's going to do it, this is the one. You're bringing a guy up to Knoxville in his first true SEC road test, and I've been clear on the show. I've left Knoxville deaf for a couple hours. I've been in those ruckus environments, but it's going to be a true test for Georgia. We don't know. As a fan, after watching those two games, I don't know what we have under the hood. I got to watch a little bit of. I watched the whole Syracuse game, but I'm saying I got to watch Tennessee a little bit play Syracuse, and then the ETSU is really, we talked about the week before getting your wide receivers geared up, taking some of those drop passes. Boy, they slung it around, and they were able to put some points up on the board.
They did. Of course, Georgia has won the last 8, average score 38-13. Generally, these have been blowouts for the last 8 years. They really have. Like you said, if Tennessee is going to break that 8-game winning streak, 2025 is the year because it's in Knoxville. You got an untested quarterback in Athens, and like I said, because next year down there in Athens with a seasoned quarterback, the odds are stacked against you going to Athens. So if you want to break that streak, this is the time to do it. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing: Tennessee in Knoxville is 22-1 since the year 2022. There's only one team that's been able to come up there and beat them.
Well, we know who that is.
And here's the thing, though. This is a lot like that 22 team when you've got Hendon. I think this is Tennessee's best offense since Hendon Hooker.
I think so, too.
Viewing the first 2 weeks. Again, something could change. But just looking schematically, looking what they're trying to do, they're mixing some things up. I think Josh Heupel's probably got some stuff up his sleeve as well for Kirby that they're going to throw out an offense that Georgia's probably not prepared for.
Saturday can't get here fast enough for me.
It's going to be such a good game. I'm going to be up there in person. I'll be sitting. I'm not going to tell you where I'm sitting because I don't want to be heckled by all you Tennessee fans. But I'm sitting in the lower bowl. So if you can sift me out in the lower bowl and come say hello, come on.
All right, listen, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit, split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
Listen up, Cleveland. The wait is over. Josh Porter here with Optimize You, the region's #1 hormone replacement clinic. We specialize in both men and women's hormones and are so excited to finally be here in Cleveland, ready to serve you. Find us online at OptimizeYouCenters.com. That's OptimizeYouCenters.com.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
When it comes to your vascular health, you have a choice. Don't wait weeks for an appointment or settle for less than the best. At the Vascular Institute of Chattanooga, we make it easy. Timely appointments where you're seen in days, not weeks. No referral needed. We're the only vascular practice in the region to accept self-referrals. And we have 6 convenient locations. Expert care, always close to home. Choosing VIC means choosing the regional leaders in vascular care, where experience, convenience, and advanced treatment come together for you. Your health, your choice. Choose VIC. Call today or visit vascularinstituteofchattanooga.com.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
For over 100 years, Mayfield Dairy has been delivering farm fresh dairy milk beloved by Southern families. In 1983, Mayfield introduced its iconic yellow jug. The new opaque jug helps block harmful light rays, protecting the flavor and nutrients in milk. Learn more about Mayfield today at mayfielddairy.com.
And we've got with us Coach Akins. Coach Akins, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Doing all right. Hey, I'm just sitting here wondering. I know about the wing parties, but what party did I not get invited to this week since your offense put up so many points last week?
We got a 50-burger party. Anytime we get 50, we have burgers. So excited to do a 50-burger party.
Well, that's super exciting, Coach. I mean, the offense was outstanding. The quarterback throwing for, was it over 500? Chase Stevens?
503. Yep, 503.
My gosh. I mean, what? And then you set a school record, I believe, right? 691 in total offense?
691 yards in offense, yep. So it was a really good night, man. I thought our players did a great job executing. Our coaching staff did an outstanding job planning for it. I was really proud all around, with our offensive performance. And honestly, going back and looking at defense, was proud of what we did on defense. You know, the difference in the game was the interception and a 3-and-out. We had 4 interceptions and 1 3-and-out, and that's the difference in the game. So really all-around good team win.
Coach, you talk about game planning. We talked on the radio the week before. You talked about how you felt like the staff let them down against the Bradley game and that wouldn't happen again. Kind of talk about what your offense and defensive philosophy was, because it's a little different than what we typically see. Normally it's a low-scoring defensive game and the offense does what they take. This week it felt like your offense was just throwing out haymakers.
Yeah, we felt like going in that we had the advantage in the skill. I thought we had a really big advantage when it came to our receivers versus their defensive backs, and wanted to put our guys in space and allow them to run with the ball after the catch. I thought McMahon was really good up front on the defensive line, so we didn't want to hold the ball back there for too long, and give them time to get to the quarterback. So we went in with the game plan of just getting the ball quickly to our receivers' hands, and you saw that early on with us getting Sawyer Boyd involved very early. And that was kind of the catalyst for the whole night. And from that point forward, we just had really good adjustments that when they adjusted, we were able to get to different things that we had worked on throughout the week. And it was a really fun night for us. And I was really proud of Coach Pope. Coach Pope really came up with the game plan and called the game. And because of that, I thought he deserved a lot of credit for the way we played the other night.
I'm glad you brought up Coach Pope, and gave him his flowers, because, boy, was he in his bag on Friday night. One thing that I thought you guys did so well, and I'm not going to talk about it a ton because me and you just broke down some film that people are going to be able to catch on our YouTube pages and on your YouTube page, and they should go watch it because it's a great segment. But how you guys made plays look so similar but have so many options, he did such a great job on Friday night.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing Chase did, honestly, is throughout the night he was able to look at the different coverages and be able to hit different receivers based on what they were doing in the back end. A lot of times you're at the high school level, a lot of times you're having to tell the quarterback where to go with the football, which means you're guessing a lot. Friday night, we didn't have to guess very much because Chase did such a great job understanding what the game plan was and understanding what the adjustments were going to be. And that showed. We had several plays where it was the exact same play, but the ball went to different guys, and it was nothing that we did as coaches. It was Chase reading defenses and making great throws. So it was a fun night. It was a lot of work went into it. It was fun reading some quotes of how they adjusted. They adjusted every way they knew to adjust, and we still were hitting things. So really, it was a solid game plan. And I told our guys, we're never going to put you in a situation again where the game plan was going to fall short. And I feel like we came through on that promise last week.
Coach, every time I've interviewed a coach, even in a win, they always try to find some kind of a negative regardless. Now, we all know that you did give up a lot of points to McMahon, but I'm looking at the offensive side. You scored 54 points. Was there any negative that you could take away from Friday night's game?
We made a bad call on a 3rd and 5 in the red zone.
But that's on you. That's on the coaching staff, right? Not on the players, right?
That's on us.
I mean, I'm having a. Like I said, you can't really find a lot of fault when you put 54 points. You said 1 3 and out. That's it.
They had the 3 and out.
They had the 3 and out.
Yep. Every time we had the ball, we scored it, except for one. That would be my one negative is the last interception. We got the ball back and we fumbled the next snap. And gave the ball back to them and gave them a little life. I think they were ready to be done. And when we fumbled the ball back to them, it gave them a little life and a little hope. We recovered the ensuing onside kick, and that kind of ended the game. But that would be it. We had the one drive we didn't score because we fumbled, and that turnover kind of just made it where it was a little uncomfortable for a little bit longer. But man, we played a really good game. I'll tell you, I was really proud of us up front. I thought we played so well up front. We gave up 1 sack. We gave up 0 pressures. We gave up 0 hits on the quarterback other than the 1 sack. So against that front, that's a really successful night. And then we ran the ball for 196 yards. So, you run the ball for 196 yards and you throw the ball for 503, and, man, that turns into a really special night.
Tell us a little bit about Chattanooga Central. What are we looking forward from them?
Yeah, they're very athletic. They they pack the ball. I'll tell you, they do two things really well. They run the ball really well. So they're running outside zone, buck sweep type plays. They do that very well, and then they stop the run really well. They pack the box, 6, 7 guys in the box at all times. And then once they stop run, they got athletes on the edge to cover the receivers. We're going to have to be really we're going to have another good night when it comes to throwing and catching the football. That's going to be very important because with a 7-man box, there's just not a whole lot of run game there. And like I said, they're physical up front, and they stop run really well. So we're going to have to make sure that we do what we need to do in the passing game to get them out of that box.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time, man, and then good luck on Friday night.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. A lot of momentum, man. I'll tell you, it was a really special night, not just for our program on Friday, but for the school and the community. And I thought it was a really special night, and it was something I was really proud to be a part of. So thank you guys, as always, for having me and the time that y'all spend promoting high school athletics, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Coach, before you go, plug Ocoee night real quick.
Yeah, so Friday night we are hosting Ocoee Middle School student athletes. We're going to recognize the programs before the game. So we're asking families and athletes to be there around 6:15. We're going to get with the different team groups, and then we're going to recognize them around 6:30 in the pregame on the football field before the game. So really excited to host those groups. Ocoee's done such a great job building those programs up, and we just want to celebrate those programs and celebrate those kids, and just tell them how proud of them that we are, that what they're doing. So excited for that night. It's always a fun night seeing all those different teams on the field and being able to recognize those teams.
Well, thanks for joining us, Coach. You escaped my hard question this week. I'll have to save it up for next week.
I can't wait, man. I always look forward to it, man. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great night.
You too, buddy. We'll see you.
Thank you, man.
See you.
So, wow. I mean, 54 points. I mean, like I said, every coach I've ever interviewed, they've always got something bad to say, no matter what. How do you say anything negative about your offense when there was really the only one bad play was on them?
Yeah, you could say there was one inopportune fumble because I called the game, so I know.
Right.
They got a turnover, and then they talked to he said about it. He talked about it on Friday night. He talked to Cunningham. You can't give the ball up over. That's where you kind of get to go on your death march and drive and put the game away. In all reality, a lot of people gave the defense like, oh, they let them hang 42 points.
Right.
It really should have been 35. And if you're telling me you can win a football game 54-35, you're really going to complain about the defense all that much? Probably not going to.
Yeah,
because
no
what you're having to do, that offense was scoring at will, which then turns around and makes that defense have to go right back out there on the field.
They were wore out.
I mean, even like you get the halftime break, the defense is like, oh, thank God. The offense is going out there first. They went down there and scored in 3 plays.
Yeah, your defense, they don't have a chance to recover, man.
Yeah, they don't have a chance to get ready again. So, I think it was just an overall great win by Walker Valley. And one thing that I stole from Bo Cagle, I was next to him in the box over. He said it's the most adjustments he's ever had to make in a football game before.
Isn't that crazy?
And
man?
He's had a long tenure. If you can do that to a coach and where they are having to adjust and move, your game plan works. So shout out to Walker Valley. He brought up the middle schools. Let's go over to the middle school report from last week. JV Lake Forest over CMS 28-16. Then the next game was Varsity Cleveland over Lake Forest 14-6. That one was a barn burner. Came all the way down to the last play where Lake Forest just wasn't able to get that one in there. Ocoee over William Blunt 12-0. Lake Forest plays Northview at 7 p.m. Ocoee is versus Sequatchie at 7 p.m. at the MAC, and Cleveland at McMinn, JV 5 and Varsity 6:30. So if you're wanting to catch out some middle school sports, there's your middle school report.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and touch on the Braves. I know there's not a lot of stuff going on, but the Braves, the coverage by the on the drive is brought to you by Mayfield Dairy. Sean Murphy is on the 10-day IL. He has a right hip labrum tear, and he'll have surgery. He'll have 4 months to recover by the time spring training rolls around. Sandy Leon was called up. The Braves beat the Cubs last night. So, by the way, that was Brian Snitker's 800th win as a Major League manager. Tonight, the Braves host the Chicago Cubs. Spencer Strider is on the mound. He's 5-12 with a 4.97 ERA. That one, nobody saw that coming.
Yep.
5-12, 4.97 ERA. Cade Horton on the bump for the Chicago Cubs. By the way, you can listen to that game 7 o'clock on Mix 104.1. Post-game coverage on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. So we got our Braves talk in. Oh, by the way, did you see where Jalen Carter was fined $57,222, but he was not suspended? There was some talk that he might get suspended against the Chiefs. Listen, he was suspended for the entire game because he never played it down. So
history shows us with that too. Other like scenarios, a fine has just been issued. I really thought the NFL would stick with their guns there, but I'm be honest. I'm taking my Georgia hat off of this. Dak Prescott stepping up between his offensive linemen and spitting at his feet, no fine, still kind of shocks me.
That's a little shocking, too. And by the way, the other spitter this past weekend, Bet from Florida, he issued an apology to his teammates. He issued an apology directly to the player that he spit on and, his family. So good for him, a learning experience. Flat out cost Florida. If that doesn't happen, I don't know if South Florida drives down and kicks that field goal.
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately, you shouldn't be in that position as Florida, but it ultimately cost you the game. That's a huge, huge penalty.
And both Carter and Bet, they both said, listen, I'll never do this again. And they probably won't. And I can't imagine we'll see another, well, I shouldn't say this. I can't imagine seeing another spitting incident after we've seen two this past weekend. It really hurt their team. Now, the Eagles were able to win the football game. Florida, on the other hand, I honestly think that cost them the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge swing for sure. Just to touch on some NFL results, Titans fall to the Broncos 20-12. Falcons fall to the Buccaneers 23-20. Sunday Night Football was probably one of the best football games we'll watch all year. Ended in a result that the Ravens were leading 40-25.
Yep.
And ended up losing that ball game
with less than 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Less than 4 minutes to go. Unbelievable. I don't know. There were tons of people that went to bed, did not see the end of that game. By the way,
Andy, our friend Andy, is one of them.
Yeah. And, of course, last night you saw the Vikings come back to defeat the Chicago Bears. And J.J. McCarthy, listen, he had a rough start. He threw that pick six early in the game. Well, man, he looked good there in the fourth quarter. He leads the Vikings to that come-from-behind win. And, listen, did it seem like there was a large number of interdivisional games for week one? There were interdivisional games all over the NFL.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention to that.
I don't know if maybe I just noticed it. Maybe they do that all the time. But it seemed like usually you end up starting the season against a team that's not in your division, or a lot of times it's even in the other conference. But there was tons of interdivisional games on, I guess from Thursday all the way to Monday night.
Yeah. So jumping over to college football, Mississippi State students rush and tear down Exit Stadium with the goalpost. They were fined $500,000 from the SEC for that instance. So you're starting to see that universities do not like you on their field. That they do not want you to rush.
Not every conference has that rule.
Yeah.
But the SEC, the SEC's had it for a long time, and it doesn't seem to phase anyone.
You know where it will happen on Saturday if a certain team wins up in Knoxville. Where college game day is set for Georgia-Tennessee. Matchup starts at 3:30. If Tennessee beats Georgia in pretty decisive fashion, I guarantee you the goalpost will be in the river.
I'm so looking forward to this football game. And I guess the reason, and listen, I don't have a dog in the hunt, pun intended, okay? I just think this is the best opportunity for Tennessee to hang with Georgia. I honestly don't know if they'll win, but I don't think there's going to be a blowout. If there is, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Betting lines to me are normally pretty close. I know that there's the times where, like, they are close and then somebody gets blown out of the water. You don't normally see a whole lot of movement, between games. It went from 7 to 3.5 really, really quickly. So, and you get 3 points for being the home team. So what that tells me,
basically, it's a pick 'em.
Yes, it is that. And so I'm super excited. I'll be there in person. Got a lot of friends that are going. But if you're up there, just be nice to me. I don't like going to Knoxville because I get stuff thrown at me, and I promise you, I'm a good Georgia fan.
What's the strength of Georgia's football team right now, in your opinion?
I don't. Oh, the strength.
Yes, defensive line.
Yeah, it's our defense. Front seven.
Like every year.
Yeah, our front set. That's where we spend our money. Our money's up front. The linebackers are elite. We've got really good cornerback play. We've got an All-American, freshman All-American safety. Like, we've got guys returning. To me, my questions is what is our offensive identity, because we haven't shown it.
Well, here's the key, in my opinion. If Georgia gets pressure on a quarterback without having to blitz, that's a bad sign for Tennessee.
Yeah, to me, you have to be able to stop Tennessee's run with 5 to 6 guys in the box. Traditionally, with how Heupel likes running his offense,
he loves to run the ball.
If you can stop the run with 5 to 6 guys in the box and drop guys back, it's going to be really tough sledding.
Well, I tell you what, this is the most excited I've been for a Tennessee-Georgia game in a long time, because most years I'm like, I just hope Tennessee doesn't get embarrassed.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that this year. I think Tennessee really has an opportunity.
Well, and Tennessee fans feel the same thing that you're feeling. I think across the fan base, like, they've been hurt by Georgia in the past 8 years. Like, the last time that they beat us was in 2016 in the Hobnail boot game. Since then, it's been pretty lopsided. But I think there's a pretty good consensus around Tennessee fans that, like, they're coming to face a different team up here in Knoxville.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, the time has flown by. I hope everyone out there has had a good afternoon. You're listening to The Drive, and we will see you again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Have a good evening, everyone.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. A couple of wrecks still being cleaned up out here by TDOT and those help trucks as it gets heavier in the last few minutes with volume trying to get down into North Georgia. We had to deal with some radar earlier on 75 traveling down through parts of Catoosa County. Still busy right now up in the Hickson area. Stop and go 153 at Gadd Road. Happy Hemp Pharmacy now open at their new location on Cummings Highway in